Welcome to another episode of Bringing Down the Grindhouse, a podcast where we discuss horror in media. And tonight, grab your crucifixes and, I don't know, call a priest or something as we dive into The Exorcist. I'm Mitch.
I'm Murr.
I'm Justine.
And I'm Jonathan.
Coming to you live from our new studio.
New place, new vibe.
AKA our new apartment living room.
Hey.
We've just moved to a new living room.
Yes, I moved from a
y'all did it.
fucking
We did.
heinous spot
Yeah.
in San Diego to a much better spot. in
Yeah,
San
I
Diego.
mean, it's been days since I've seen a tweaker. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. Although I do have to get used to people constantly walking in front of our apartment and getting spooked.
Yeah, because like at our old place, the window was just the outside of the building, and it was the third floor, so no one's ever gonna pass by
You
it.
could comfortably walk around in the nude if you wish.
Also
that way,
Exactly.
You know, but now you can't just have all your bits out for everyone to see.
Bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to keep that shit under lockdown now.
Or just close the blinds, but the light is so nice here. We actually get direct sunlight.
Yeah,
too.
I took a nap the other day in direct sunlight. Man, that's a luxury.
Honestly,
So John is a cat, confirmed.
Yes.
I envy
our
him.
cats love
Yes.
that shit
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah. They're always laying in the sun. It's great. You get to see them move around the room as the sunlight moves across the floor. It always ends up being really funny
It's so
and adorable.
cute.
We need to start taking photos of them.
Just sunbathing. Aw.
Well, before we start, we should mention that you should support us on our Patreon. We have extra content on there, as well as check out our Teespring for our t-shirts and now new and improved
Oh.
hats, motherfucker.
Hats. Yes. Get your fucking hats. What kind of hat
Shut-
is it? Is it a trucker cap?
We got trucker
Is it a-
caps. We
Oh.
got dad caps.
Bro.
We even have one of our hats. I don't remember if it's the trucker hat or the dad cap, but one of them's navy blue.
Navy blue.
Yeah, you can get black or navy blue. Also, shout out to Proof Toast Gaming. He set up the logo for us on that one. So
Nice.
thanks
Nice.
a lot. Plug in.
yeah.
He's a gaming channel. He covers video games. He's a friend of mine. Anyway.
Sick.
All right.
And then with that, we shall enter into The Exorcist.
You are now entering.
It goes
Twilight
like that.
Zone.
That's how the piano goes for that song, right?
Yeah,
Something
it's
like
got
that.
it's got a very dramatic score,
Yeah.
which I believe was custom made for the film.
You know what really surprised me about this movie is that it was a book first.
Yeah, same.
Like 2 years prior too. They
Yeah.
made this into a movie fast. Like,
Yeah, somebody picked it up and was just like, I got to
well-
make this into
Well,
a
the
movie.
author of the book also like wrote the script and helped produce the movie.
Yeah,
too.
brought him on for it and everything.
His name is William Peter Blatty.
Blatty.
Blatty. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, there are some stark differences between the movie and the book, but as far as I know, like the book got it pretty close.
Right.
But a lot of people are like, that book apparently terrified a lot of people.
The movie terrified a lot of people.
Yeah,
This is one of
same.
those
Yeah.
Oh,
iconic
yeah.
horror films that was completely different from anything that
I
came
think-
out during that time.
This is like one of the first horror movies I watched when I was actually starting to get into
Oh,
horror.
dang.
As like, a middle schooler. Because I'd seen horror movies before and I was like, no, turn it off.
Here's some projectile vomit for you.
Yeah. And I went to fucking Sam Goody to
Hell
the
yeah.
DVD
Sam
section.
Goody,
And I was
holy
like,
shit.
I want to watch horror, but I don't know what to
Yes.
watch. I'd heard of The Exorcist. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's get
This
The
is like
Exorcist.
when you would peruse all of the DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Exorcist is a slow starter. For
It
like
is a
getting
very
into,
slow
That's
start.
a really
Yeah.
slow horror movie.
I remember when I was watching it, I was like, this is the movie that's so scary. That's dumb.
Yeah,
and then it got
watching
to
it
like
now.
the demon possession mode, and I was like, oh, well, this is fucking gnarly.
Yeah, it gets, dude. In the book, apparently, all they wanted to do was the projectile vomiting, but apparently it's way nastier. Like the book, she's like spraying poo everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
like they have to like take like it's awful. And I guess they couldn't go that route with this one because spraying poo. I think the
Poo, yeah.
projectile vomit was enough. We didn't need like
Really? The projectile
diarrhea.
poop is off limits here?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bruh, that's not true to demonology. Everybody
Listen.
knows demon-possessed people shit
Yeah,
everywhere.
Nice.
Didn't
Well,
you know?
I wanted to ask, did you guys watch the standard version or the version you've never seen before?
It would. I mean, from what we've
What?
discussed, I've watched the same version you did because I saw all the scenes that you discussed.
Standard.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
did you guys see the masturbating crucifixion scene?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have
Okay.
seen
Jesus
that.
fuck you, let
But-
Jesus fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I got on the DVD too.
Okay, good.
Way
You're
back
like,
in the day.
That's
Well,
it's gnarly.
Okay, I think the only real difference here is that we see the priest that they eventually get to do the exorcism. He's like hanging out in Egypt and shit. And he's like, I mean, honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, dude, I kind of want to see a movie where it's just an old man dealing with like demons and like ancient like gods or fucking just pyramid shit. I kind of want to see that.
Pyramid shit.
Pyramid.
Pyramid
What
shit.
qualifies as pyramid shit?
Indiana Jones shit.
But Indiana Jones went to a lot of places.
That was only the most recent one.
Yeah.
Where it's aliens and it was completely detached from all the rest of the movies. It was so weird.
I kind
Damn.
of like that one.
It was
I like
the
alien
Crystal
arcs.
Skull shit. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Shia LaBeouf hangs out with monkeys.
That was great.
Shia LaBeouf. Fuck.
I actually liked him as his son, but I digress. But this one, I think at the time was just fucking with a lot of people because there wasn't anything around that was kind of that grotesque. The only equivalents that you would end up finding is probably like shit that happened in The Thing and other like monster movies that wanted to show you these like slimy, gross creatures. And in this case, having to deal with her. The Exorcism movies also got really intense after that. Like the next 3 or 4 where they had a girl who was like a contortionist to be the girl, and it looks like her back just breaks in half as
Holy
she bends
shit.
backwards. So they started upping how scary they were after that.
I know that the second one has a cheese factor because it has James Earl Jones as
Yeah.
like a locust god.
It's so weird.
It
A
is really
locust
weird.
god.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
But
It's
it also
hilarious.
is pretty amazing. Just the voice.
But
Deep ass voice.
the thing is, I think during the 50s, the movie Fiend Without a Face was the
Yeah.
most gory movie.
Yeah.
And then this was like the next thing for bodily fluids because this movie was released in December 26th of 1973. So this is like right before the 80s shit happened.
Yeah, this is right before the gore fest of like all of the 80s.
So it pretty much, it's like ahead of its
Predates it a
time
bit, yeah.
a lot.
Well, that makes me wonder, is bodily fluids counted as gore? Because I always considered gore to be like blood and guts,
I
but
would say
can
yeah.
vomit, piss, shit.
Yeah.
Is that gore too?
Well, to a certain extent, yeah.
wonder
it's
what
all
the
kind of a
official
gross
definition
out
is.
factor, I feel.
And it all comes from like the body. It's like body
Yeah.
excrements
That's
is
so is this
considered
then
gore.
body horror?
Yeah. I mean, something's literally possessing your body and morphing you into this fucking
Let's see.
creature of a person.
The official dictionary definition of gore is blood that has been shed, especially as a result of violence. The film omitted the blood and gore in order to avoid controversy. Ironic. So it is specifically blood, yes.
Okay.
But it could still be considered body horror because we've talked
Yeah.
about this kind of stuff before.
Absolutely.
If we're going off stats, it was released in the U.S. The director was William Friedkin.
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 You want some
Or
Friedkin?
Friedkin.
Friedkin.
William
Yo, wait, Mitch, can you tell your joke you told us earlier about
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
the kin
pumpkin.
joke?
Oh, God. So what do rednecks do on Halloween?
I don't know, Mitch. What did
What
they
did they
do?
They pumpkin.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Oh, man. Some southern humor for you
There's
there.
some-
Anyway.
Just alienated like a very large portion of our listeners.
Nobody
now.
there listens to our podcast.
Nobody does. That's true.
But what
Only
if they
just
do?
me. It's just me.
If you guys do, we're just kidding. We're just kidding, all right?
Yeah,
It's
we're just
all
kidding. We're
good
kidding.
humor.
Don't get your panties in a bunch.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit you with the facts.
Hit me with some
Oh my
facts,
God.
Mer.
The
Fact
writer was William Peter Blatty, and
Blatty.
he also produced, as we said. The production company was Hoya Production, and then if we want, we could just go right into the starring roles.
Yeah, who was in it?
So Ellen Burstyn was as Chris McNeil, Jason Miller as the father, or Dr. Damien Karras, who I believe has like the best role. He's the boxer priest.
Yeah. The put literally boxer priest, which is
Lit.
great.
Literally like the pre-emphasis for fucking Rocky.
Yeah.
He looks like Rocky. I'm not gonna lie.
He does kind of look like Rocky.
Like a bargain bin Rocky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there
what
you
I thought.
go.
Like he's bargain bin
He's got
Rocky.
that jawline.
at 99-cent store Rocky. We got Rocky at home.
We got Rocky at home. The Rocky at home.
Linda Blair is Regan McNeil, which I found out she did get injured on the set too.
Yeah, I bet.
Because she's been doing all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, it's the scene where she's lifted
Oh yeah.
The harness fucked up, and when she got sent into the ceiling,
Just hit the ceiling.
it actually hit the ceiling and fucked up her spine. She has permanent damage from that.
Oh,
And the scream that we see in the movie is actually like an actual scream of pain.
that is scary.
Yeah.
That always makes it a little puts people more on edge, like when they did it in Alien, when they didn't warn them about the chest bursting scene and they all flip out. He's like, "This is great." He's like capturing all of it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because the projectile vomit was not supposed to go on the face either. It was supposed to go on their body. And so when he's like actually shocked, he was pissed as fuck when it
Yeah, I
happened.
bet.
He's like, I'm still in the scene though. Let's just remove the glasses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for real. That's actually what he does. I love
Yeah.
that.
That is Jason Miller as Father Dr. Damien. No, Max von Sydow as Father Lancaster Marin.
Nice.
He is the guy that was doing the Indiana Jones shit in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then like even like the demon itself calls out for Marin as well, like beware the priest, Marin. And I was like, this is so cool. This is so.
Oh man, you
such an
got some
immersive
rep in
movie,
the
though.
demon world.
I mean, it does enough of your breaks from like possession scenes to like really like immerse yourself in who these people are, and then it
Right.
comes into play at that final conflict at the very end.
Some pretty good character development, considering that they were spending a lot of time on the possession scene, but you actually got to feel for the priest and for the girl who's been possessed as well. So you're just like, you actually care.
Like the mom too.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
actress that plays the mom does a really good job of for her role for
Surprisingly not melodramatic, even though it's
Really,
older.
though?
I was watching
Really,
it. I was
though?
like, oh wow, this is not like your typical horror
sure.
acting.
She kept it very grounded.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
you're talking about Kitty Wynn as
Yes.
Sharon Spencer.
Mhm.
Yeah, she. Like that's the thing. She's
It's
like
believable.
losing. She's losing her mind. There was an extra scene too where like they actually do the brain scan
Oh shit.
and they do the thing where they fucking pick her in the neck and blood shoots out.
Ooh.
That was like the one thing in this movie that was like, oh, I can't watch this shit.
Have you ever seen that happen, like for real? Like if they ever take your blood and accidentally don't close the other side of the tube, it like really squirts out like that.
That's what
This
happened.
is not an exaggeration. Whenever you see
Mm.
that in movies, like it'll legit come out your arm like that.
And then we got Lee J. Cobb as a very suspicious cop named Lieutenant William
this,
Kinderman.
this cop is sus the whole time. That's actually really true. I didn't even think to. I was just ignoring him. I think most of it.
Yeah, right.
But you're
I
right.
was just like, you're doing too much snooping. What's
Yeah,
up with
what
you,
are
buddy?
you? What are you really over here for?
Am I detained? What's going on?
I love that. Am I being
invite,
detained?
I invite you to my house for tea.
Yeah,
Um,
real shit though.
Mercedes McBridge is the voice of Pazuzu. Fun fact about that.
What's the name?
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu, that's
Yeah.
the demon.
So do we know anything about this demon?
It's a real
Well-
demon in lore.
Oh, okay.
Funny you should ask, because I was just looking up a
Oh,
wiki
really?
article.
Nice. All right.
Well, it's funny because I don't know if you've heard of like Pazuzu Algard, that one like crazy serial killer dude. You might have heard the
I've
story.
not heard
If
of
you
this
haven't
one.
heard the story of Pazuzu Algard, look it up on like YouTube. They have a ton of videos about him. But Pazuzu the demon is a Mesopotamian demon.
Oh.
He's the demon of wind. He represents the southwestern wind, bearer of storms and drought. He's also associated with famine and locust.
Okay.
There's also a crazy thing in the movie because like he is technically a terrible kind of demon, but at the same time he also likes to save people from what I heard.
Yeah, that was another thing about his lore, is that he drives other demons away from causing harm to humans, but he himself will still cause harm to humans. He just wants to be the only one, you know?
That's
So
kind
he's
of
like, okay, I'm going to scare these guys away,
This is
but
my
let me do
territory.
my job.
Also, has got a rock hard cock. His dick is enormous.
I didn't read about that, but I'll take your word for it.
I mean, you saw in the movie. Come on. Oh wait, no, you guys didn't. Oh my god, that was one of the extra scenes.
I was like, what?
Wait, so come to find out that the scientist doesn't actually go.
Mitch is currently putting his hands into it.
He doesn't
his
actually-
face
Your
into his
point of
hands.
view now.
Yes, this is my point of view.
Right.
He doesn't.
Pazuzu has a rock hard
Well,
cock.
he doesn't actually go into Egypt. You're absolute. It's a Mesopotamian god. He goes to Iran. I just totally fucking remember this. But he has a confrontation with the Pazuzu statue,
Yeah.
and it stares him down hard. And like the cock is fucking rumbling. It's fucking hard, man. And while they're doing the Exorcist, they'll have flashbacks, and you'll see him like convulsing at the fucking seams because he's remembering what Pazuzu looks like.
Oh, jeez.
So if you ever see the extended version, you'll see a fucking demon with a rock hard dick.
Gnarly.
This is what
That was great.
that's my
Thank
point
you.
of view.
Thank you for
Oh.
that piece of information.
my
I do want to say though that Mercedes McCambridge, she's the one that voiced Pazuzu in the scene. So she is a longtime alcoholic, and essentially she just like got herself really sick and chain smoked hard to be able to do the scene. And she wanted to drink whiskey, but everyone's like, "You're a fucking alky. You can't do that shit."
Yeah, don't do that.
But she was like, "No, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional," and she fucking did it, and she
Oh,
fucking
jeez.
killed it. It's scary if you're a kid.
Wow, so her voice was not modified for that?
No, that's her voice.
Yo, that is scary. What the
Yo.
hell? Yeah, I thought that was a heavily modified voice, like in post production.
Shit.
Yeah,
Talk
no.
about method acting.
Right. right.
Yeah, for real. Just getting all fucked up.
So we should also note that this was also up for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Did it win?
I don't believe so. I think
It
it
is-
lost to something.
It was nominated.
Yeah, it was. It is one of those movies that is a horror movie.
I think
that's
it
been
lost to a
nominated.
bullshit movie too. You know, I think about it.
Huh.
Let me double check.
However, it did do amazing at the box office, with a budget of $12 million and a box office record of $441 million.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
So they were gonna pump out sequels, but this is the highest grossing horror movie of all time, as well as like an Academy recognized horror movie. Like Warner Brothers has not made enough money, counting for inflation, since
Oh,
then.
here we go. So it was a winner for the Oscar for Best Writing, Best Sound, It was a nominee for Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Actor in Supporting Role, and Best Film Editing. But it won Best Writing and Best Sound at the Academy Awards.
That's pretty big.
1974.
That's
So
big.
those are like some of the biggest ones you could win at the Academy Awards.
What did it lose to?
For the other one, I don't know who it lost to.
Probably
For
something
Best
stupid.
Picture, I think it lost to something else. Was it 1974? I'd have to double check. We keep going.
Has a horror movie ever won Best Picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a few that won it, but not very many actually.
Yeah.
There's kind of actually it's a very short list.
I feel like it's very rare for horror movies to even win like pretty big awards like those.
Well, prior to this, most horror films weren't really considered for nominees usually.
Yeah.
It was always drama.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's more popularly consumed.
I believe Get Out is one of those, right?
Yeah, Get Out was one of the
Nice.
first to win.
Yeah.
1974, the winner for Best Picture was The Sting, which I've never fucking heard of.
The Sting.
Yeah, 1974 Oscars 46th Academy Award winner for Best Picture. It beat The Exorcist, literally the only other nomination.
Wow.
The following year was The Godfather.
I believe that.
Nice.
Yeah, the following year was The Godfather. Or the year
Iconic.
before that, prior, actually.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, shit. Is that all of the facts?
Any more of the Faxmer?
No. We should go into the movie.
Oh yeah.
Check it out.
So
Check
first
it
impressions.
out.
What do you guys think about it?
Well, like I was
Still a
saying
good movie.
earlier, like definitely slow to start when I first watched it, like way back then, but it definitely impressed me as I went along. I was like, okay, this is actually like some, I wouldn't say like high quality, but there was something different about it than the horror movies I had seen, because I'd seen a few like modern ones, like early 2000s kind of horror movies, but there's something different about the way they did The Exorcist and compared to those movies. Like there's something that was almost like organic about the way they're presenting these themes and these images
Yeah.
of this demon-possessed child that I feel like is kind of lost in some modern movies. I feel like a lot of modern interpretations of demon possession are very cheesy. Not to say that this one wasn't super cheesy still, but cheesy in a different way.
It's also
you know?
been parodied like
Yeah,
several times
that's
after
true.
this, and we've only been able to see those most of the time. So
Yeah.
it's like it kind of took the seriousness away from it. Kind of like when they did they parodied Saw and
Right.
took away
Oh,
the
yeah.
seriousness from the little tricycle riding doll. So it's like we're kind of a bit desensitized, but I agree. The writing is good, and I think it stuck to the storytelling that most novels will take to and really fill out all of the characters. So it was well adapted into a screenplay.
I think first impression, this movie starts slow, but it builds up into a momentous kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very much like a huge fucking wow, what's the word I'm looking for? climax.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where it's like everything comes together and there's one thing that's happening and it has to be resolved.
I think it's really ahead of its time. And then hearing like the stories about the set design and how many problems they had, I think it's a very big cornerstone in horror. It is a movie that everyone has to see at least once.
Yeah, should be on
You
your,
could tell.
your list of like top 100. It should be up there.
Yeah, it's probably top 10 for most people.
Yeah, I think it's usually put as like within the top 10 in any list that you see.
I also think that like with a kid being possessed, it like fucking shocked people to the core.
Yeah, usually you wouldn't see violence in relation to children. So that was kind of like a no-no. I don't think they do it so much anymore just because they can't subject child actors to these things because of all the rules and laws and then people's moralities.
Yeah, but they'll kill the fucking dog.
Yeah, apparently they'll just kill dogs like no problem. So, yes, dog does not survive. Will
Fair
the dog
warning.
survive.com? We
So
should really get a sponsor from them.
First impression.
it's tough to, I guess, criticize these movies
Right.
because of how I guess how dated they are as far as like special effects goes, like what we have our expectations. But the writing in this is very solid, and that really like brings me into the setting, and it is very immersive, I would say, as well. Because it gets into like both of the priests' backstories,
Right.
it gets a little bit into the mother's backstory and the family, and everyone else who like is working in that entire
It like gives you a reason to care about them.
Yeah,
They're not just
exactly.
like an extra character
Yeah,
that you're
yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
well, whatever.
And, I mean, that's like what it definitely. They did their homework for this one for sure, and
Yeah, especially on the demon stuff.
yeah, no, for sure, really though. And I don't know. My first impression was this is a classic horror movie, and then sort of my questions were like, why, like what about this film makes it a classic? And I think it's mostly like the time period. Like the time period's a big one too, because not anyone had really seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And especially since it was made for like an American audience, you have like the strong like Christian background that we have here as well.
Oh,
So
this
you
is
have-
why it bothered so many people.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
this is like they're terrified of this happening to them, and
Oh, yeah.
it really got into the minds of a lot of people who are part of like any certain Christianity or religion, where they're just like, oh, this is like the epitome of the worst thing that can happen to your family.
I heard that the story, like the book itself, was based off of a happening to like a young boy,
Yeah,
like an exorcism that happened with him, and how this
those real stories
yeah.
always freak me out because
Yeah.
they explain like what happens, and it's always really intense, and it usually involves like a lot of bodily harm, which could be like bones getting out of place or even coming out of their skin, like
Yeah.
their eyes bleeding or their fingernails falling off. Like there's just all sorts of stuff that happens to you. A really good representation of it in another movie was actually Constantine.
Yeah.
When he
Ooh,
like
yeah.
when he like
Constantine.
pulls it out with a mirror.
I just watched that movie recently.
That's a great movie,
Mhm.
and also another one we should talk about.
Agreed.
But
Oh,
yeah,
The Mirror.
yeah.
Oh my god, that fucking
Like
that
it's like
first
the intro scene. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get to
and
see
it's
him
in
pull
Los
it out.
Angeles.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of stuff always kind of creeps me out because it's one of those things like the fake Necronomicon thing where if like just reading it, you're kind of like nervous about reading it because at the beginning of it gives you like that warning where it's like don't repeat any of this out loud, and then it's like Evil Dead shit where it's like don't say this incantation out loud. So it's like that kind of stuff gets people, especially with demonology, where like you see some things written down but you can't be entirely sure of what it's all about. And then of course the like if you're not experienced in these kind of things, then like kind of don't dabble and stuff like that.
Well, have you guys, or do you guys know anyone or have heard of anything like recent exorcisms or people getting possessed by demons?
I honestly haven't.
There was a past friend of ours, I remember, that was telling us a story about how they were with some friends and they decided to play with a Ouija board.
Oh, that's right.
And they believe that they were possessed by a demon during that time, and so they can't get like blackout drunk or anything, because when they do, they
Might
say that
take
the
over.
demon comes out or takes over.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was that was gnarly.
It was
Well-
unsettling. I remember listening to them tell this story, that had this like really heavy feeling. I was
yeah.
like, oh wow, I'm kind of uncomfortable.
Well, I know just recently, I believe like last year, my friend was like, hey, you know about like occult stuff, right? And I was like, yeah. Like, well, my sister got possessed last night.
Oh, that's right. You told us about this.
my God,
Would
it
you
was
like to
insane.
tell our
Wild.
listeners the story?
Yeah, so I was just like, what's up? And they're like, Well, my sister got possessed last night, and I was like, well, what happened? She's like, well, we saw her dad, and he's like, unfortunately, like on his deathbed. And like we went back to the house, and like my sister like passed out, and she woke up, and like she was screaming really hoarse and just saying like, I'm taking over your sister's body, basically. Like, this is like, she's not here right now. And basically just saying like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And like, I'm going to take your child. Because there was a baby in the house, in the apartment. And it was just really unsettling to hear this in person as I'm like across the table from this. And she's like, what do I do? And I was like, fuck, you get a priest, you get holy water. I don't know, shove like a bottle of holy water down her throat. I don't know.
Jeez.
I mean, like I was like, this is a way above anyone's pay grade. But what was really unsettling to me was that they were eventually able to calm her down and get her knocked out. And then she woke up and she didn't remember anything.
That's so weird.
And they had there, she's like, I'm burning incense. I'm doing this. I'm like burning sage. Like, what's going on? I'm like, well, are your windows closed? Yes. Oh God, you guys are fucked. Because the belief is that if you're burning sage and you're trying to get demons out of your house,
Yeah, you have to open the windows to let the energy out.
yeah. So they've been burning sage for like hours with the windows closed.
Oh, that's a bad
Stupid.
idea.
And
Yeah.
so eventually I told them to open the windows, but this is the most unsettling thing. They have an attic.
Oh.
Oh God, this I'm
It's always an
Jesus.
attic,
I'm
isn't
getting
it?
fucking chills right now saying this. But they have the baby there. And they believe that the demon is living in their attic currently because it likes dark places, is what the sister was telling them. And that it's going to take over her life. And every time that they bring the baby upstairs to take it to bed, she points at the attic and she begins to cry.
Oh my God, no! It's time to move the fuck out.
Yeah, get out of there.
Oh my God.
They eventually moved, thank God, and I haven't heard anything coming back up. But when I heard about the kid crying and pointing at the attic this is every night for
Yeah.
like months, just pointing
How
in
do you
that
not
corner.
leave?
Yeah, honestly, like as soon as kids start
That would
freaking out
spook
about
me so
something, you
bad.
fucking listen to them because they're seeing something that you can't
I get
anymore.
spooked just from the cats looking at the wall a little weird.
No,
So I'm just
yeah.
like, ooh.
Anytime they start chasing some invisible force around the apartment, I'm like, is it a fairy?
Right? Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I mean, it's if you know someone who has like gone through that kind of stuff, it's kind of scary to talk about, and that's what I think drives the fear in this
Oh,
movie.
totally, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what got a lot of people, especially
always
when they're
like-
worried about that kind of stuff.
Like, I try to consider myself to be a rational person and like, oh yeah, demon possession doesn't exist. That's just mental health or
Yeah,
issues.
right.
But like at the same time, there are certain things that are just so bizarre
Yeah.
and so strange that kind of defy all logic and reason. And it's like, how could you not think there's something supernatural going on here? Because I'm totally one to believe that, yeah, somebody can be susceptible to a lot of certain, like, just bad things.
I'm
internally.
also highly superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I dropped salt. Fuck. I'm like
Yeah,
trying to like
same.
throw it over my shoulder and things like that.
I've always found demon possession to be really interesting, though. Like the concept of
Yeah, it's
demons
scary
and
as
like
fuck.
basically just these energetic entities that are powerful enough to overtake somebody's body is just it's so interesting and so terrifying. And I truly believe that demon possession is a thing that does happen, that there are entities that could possess you. I'm not saying that every weird thing that happens is a demon possession, but like there's
Right.
definitely things that happen out in the world that no one has proper explanations for except for what can be explained without using logic and reason.
And that's the thing with the production of this movie. There was a lot of like bad things that happened on
Yeah.
set. I'm not sure if you guys know, they
Yeah.
made a whole documentary series about it because like
It's
a lot
creepy.
of crazy shit happened on the set. Like the entire set except for the bathroom or the bedroom that they do it in caught on fire.
Yeah.
Like the entire house caught on fire except for the room where they're doing the exorcism. And then on top of that,
This is like what is it, The Wizard of Oz, where people
Right.
just hung themselves on set. Like it's some weird shit.
9 actors died
Yeah.
in
Shit.
between the time that this movie was like being made and released.
Yeah.
And 2 of them being like really big. They died in the post-production stage of the film.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And then
So they think it's like one of those cursed films.
right. I think the big one though was Father Karras,
Yeah.
the guy who is the priest. When he was walking towards set,
Yeah.
like on his way to the set, a priest came up to him randomly and handed him a charm and said these words: "You reveal the devil for the trickster that he is. He will seek retribution against you, or he will even try to stop what you're trying to do to unmask him." And he walks away.
Oh my god.
See, those things are always so interesting to hear because, like, when you get into demonology, one thing that's kind of common when it comes to higher and lower entities is that the more thought and energy you give to them that way, the more apparent and manifest they become in your reality.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so,
Oh shit! Is it like the Babadook?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Or like Slenderman kind of thing.
Yeah, for real.
You know, so if you are making a movie about a particular demon, you're constantly saying the demon's name, you're always thinking about the demon, trying to portray the demon, then the demon manifests in your reality.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Holy shit! This makes sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always, well, that's what connects to the whole energy bit of like what's you're giving off, what's in your home, what's like other things, even like items can have it as well.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
You're talking about the idea that consciousness is energy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes.
pretty much.
There's
I mean,
a power
that's like,
plant underneath
I
the
mean-
pyramid of Giza.
And consciousness is not
excuse
connected
you, that
to
is an
the
alien
body
landing zone.
exclusively.
Anyway,
I mean,
But
this
yeah.
goes into like a psychoanalytic fear too,
Yes,
of like the
very much
outside
so.
affecting the inside,
Uh-huh.
sort of thing.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. The outside affecting the inside, with the inside affecting the outside, so that the outside can then affect the inside.
But if you really get into it, there's really no inside or outside. There is just the side.
There is just,
And you're just in all of it.
there's only one plane of existence.
Energy is not limited to the body. Energy can
that's
extend
true,
and
actually.
separate.
What was the weird experiment that the FBI was doing? They released documents on.
Oh, you talking about the fucking the Ultramind or whatever?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. They just declassified their shit and they confirmed.
MK Ultra.
No, not MK Ultra.
That's different. That
That's
was a
mind
mind
control.
control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, conspiracy theories. Yeah, we always
Can we
get
do a
stoked.
conspiracy
We really
theory
should,
episode?
because there's some creepy ones. Honestly,
I got quite a few to share. You want to talk about aliens? I'm the one to talk to.
fucking Ancient Aliens is the shit. I love watching
I
that.
don't know about ancient aliens, but
I
Ancient
love watching that
Aliens.
It's like one of my favorite shows to watch.
Is there something about demons that like, because in the exorcism they make the room so fucking cold. They had to make it like negative something degrees while they were filming. Is there something about that within that?
Well, I'm sure they're following the lead that they got from, like, say, Dante's Inferno, where like the
Yeah.
lowest level is completely frozen over because of the wings flapping.
Yeah.
It freezes
Ooh.
everything. So hell isn't fiery. It's just a cold iceland where you're like stuck in the ice.
Yeah.
Are you saying that it's so cold it's hot?
No, it's not hot
Okay.
at all. You're
No,
just
it's
cold.
frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's frozen solid.
It's a frozen pit in the middle.
Fun fact, in Dante's Inferno, at the bottom level of hell, or at least like the worst people that Dante considers
Yeah,
the
exactly.
worst, are like traitors to their benefactors. And those people are frozen up to their head in ice while a monster feeds on them forever.
Yeah.
Their bottom section.
Holy shit.
There's even like Dante's Inferno even has like political shit in it too, where
Oh,
he
yeah.
like beats up like old leaders and stuff
Yeah.
like that that are in hell. And that's a fun book
so,
actually.
Yeah.
so that's probably why they made the room so fucking cold that
Well-
you could see their breath.
I could think of another thing too. I don't know if this is what they were going for, but typically when entity not from your physical plane enters, if it's a negative entity, it usually needs to harness energy in order to exist in that space. And so that's what happens a lot of times in like ghost hunting shows. When the
Gets
room gets
cold.
cold all of a sudden, it's because that entity needs the energy, and heat is energy. And so this
Oh, that makes sense.
entity
The absence of
is
that
absorbing
energy.
all of that energy in order to exist where it is. But if you get rid of that energy, sorry, I just hit the mic. I'm getting really passionate about this. If you take away the energy, then it's likely that they'll be less strong.
Okay.
I thought my take on it was that the demon just liked cold.
Could be
Just
also
really enjoy it. Could be that
frosty.
also.
That could be that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's a preference for the element.
You're just like, it could be cold in here.
There's
Yeah.
so many variations on it because of different folklore and like the mythos that's been kind of created around it. So it's like, but usually it's a combination of all these things so that you can kind of get an idea of what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say though, the girl, like, what is her name? Linda Blair as
yeah.
Regan. She kills it.
Yeah,
Like, I actually like feel for this girl because like it
Some of
starts
the-
very subtle,
yeah, it's true.
and they believe it's a mental health problem.
Yeah, which is fucked because this is also when they were kind of like just getting into certain mental illness like awareness.
And they gave her Adderall. They gave her Ritalin.
Yeah. And that was like the thing to give to kids at that time.
You got demons? Take some Adderall.
You got some demons in your blood. You should do coke about it. Anyway.
Isn't that how you get the demons in your blood?
Oh.
No.
But that's the thing. They were just like, oh, yeah, we find out that it's not actually spiritual stuff. It's actually mental stuff.
Right.
Like even the doctor says it in the movie.
Yeah,
It was just like pretty crazy because like the 70s and now in the 2020s, it's so different.
Yeah.
And then like they eventually like they have to go through so many top scientists to figure out what the fuck is wrong with Regan because everything is normal inside her.
Right.
But her bed is shaking. She's speaking in Latin. Like
I like how Latin
And
became
backwards.
And
the
backwards.
fucking the thing for like demons was Latin.
Yeah. Any dead language like Sumerian.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That Sumerian stuff scares me.
Well, Sumerian would be on brand since the demon is Babylonian.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ancient Mesopotamia.
So then we should get to rating the movie
Or favorite scenes.
or favorite scenes.
scenes.
Well, it's not my favorite scene, but it should be mentioned, the head turning scene.
Oh well, yeah. Just,
Okay, I was gonna say that was
Oh.
my. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but
Very
yeah, that's my
iconic.
favorite.
Go
scene.
ahead.
that's like the
Yeah,
go-to scene.
that's like it's such an iconic moment, but like holy shit, watching that for the first time made my fucking neck hurt. I
Yeah, it
was
still
like,
fucks you
"Whoa."
up.
Talk about body horror.
Yeah, editing was really good on that one.
Yeah.
For the 70s too.
I really like the scene where the boxer priest, he's down. His mom just passed, and like the other father was just like, just go wait outside, and he's like, okay. And then the woman's like, did you save my daughter? And he's like, no. And then he gets like this epiphany moment where he has to go in there and finish this,
Yeah.
and then finally he has to take it, and he ends up dying.
Yep.
And it's so intense because he falls down like a million stairs.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that like the last climax of it was like my favorite part easily. Like when all the priests are saying all of their stuff, and then he's just like, "Get inside me, damn it!" and then jumps out the fucking window, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this is so good!" Like, oh shit.
Yeah, when they start speaking real scripture, and it's pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, that's some Old Testament shit.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
Fire and brimstone.
in the situation with the little boy that was possessed, they went first to the Lutheran church and were like, "What can we do?" And they're like, "We have no idea, but go ask the Catholics. They know how to deal with this."
They know how to exercise a demon.
They know how to exercise.
I like
Yeah.
how that's kind of been like a staple thing for Catholicism is exorcisms. Like I know that demons are something that exist across a lot of Abrahamic religions and most religions in general, but like exorcisms in particular seem to be a Catholic thing. Like you very rarely hear about exorcism happening in like Christianity or Episcopalianism or something.
I actually
like
know
that.
some history about that.
Yeah.
The reason why, which of course of anything that happens like this, is because they're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, the Catholic Church has had a problem with pedophilia and having all of the priests deciding that they just want to start raping children. But before that, in order to cover up some of these things that were happening, they started saying that kids who were misbehaving or trying to talk back against them were possessed. And so the same priests that were usually abusing these people would go in and perform that exorcism.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, right. "Quote unquote," perform this exorcism, and in most cases, the kids died. And so they're suspecting that most of these priests were probably just killing them so that they wouldn't ever say anything to anybody. But it also happened to younger women. So it's like women who they like wanted to have and rape them, and then say that they were crazy. And this is also connected to like calling them witches and using magic and things like that. So like anything else, it's to hide bad things that the men of the church were doing.
Right. 'Cause
And
I definitely know
Catholics love doing bad things.
Of course. And I know exorcisms definitely exist across other religions, but
Right.
it seems something
Not
that's
as
notably
extreme.
mentioned in Catholicism.
Catholics love coins.
Yeah.
Coin
Yeah.
things with coins, putting coins on stuff.
Putting
Their
coins
little
on
breads are
eyes.
shaped like coins. Bread coins.
Ah, yes, eat this flesh. And
Yeah, eat this flesh now.
Well, what was your favorite scene, John?
It's actually a lot less intense, but basically it's like the cover of the movie when he walks up to the house and it's all fog and it's just the shot of like really low and it's looking up at his figure and then at the house. So it's like the lights coming from the house and he's just standing out front with his little suitcase. That's like one of the best cinematography shots like in any film.
Iconic shot from the movie.
Yeah, it's
too.
so
like,
good.
It's used on covers and everything,
Yeah. I mean,
and it's what you see when you think The Exorcist.
Yeah,
is
that's
that.
like that's the thing you see, and it was such a well done shot.
Did you have the movie? Oh, there's the cover. Look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
literally watched it. I was like, this is it. This is like what you see. And they must have been going through post and saw that like in a frame and we're like, this is great. We have to use this like as the cover because the lighting is done so well. And it's like, this was before using a lot of fog was considered cheesy, but like they were able to get enough into the scene and then you just see like the silhouette, especially with the hat. He's got like the cool hat and trench coat. So I liked that scene a lot.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
I like how that's the go-to line.
It's so
yeah,
good.
I hear that so
It's so
much.
good though.
I also like the fake out. I just threw regular water on her and she was fucking screaming.
Trolley ass priest.
I know,
right here.
that's
like,
fucking
yeah,
great.
look at this baby over here getting tap water.
You know, that tap water's nasty though. I bet it just burned from all the fucking
Right.
shit that's in it.
Ah.
Well,
That's the end, isn't it?
what would you
Yes.
rate this?
I'd probably give it like an 8. It's still a very entertaining movie to watch. I would only not give it a higher rating because I think there was pieces inside of the script where like they didn't link up. Like I felt like they would skip from one story to another, and I was like, wait, we need some filler, like in between this.
Yeah.
So it's like there would be like very good moments of character like info, and then it would go right to another scene. I'm like, wait, no, you needed to like put in a transition scene here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I think I would give it a 7.5.
Some abrupt pacing sometimes, but that's really just me being picky.
Yeah, I would give it a 7.5 mostly for the same reasons because I feel like the flow of the dialogue and just the action of what was happening was a little disjointed, but it's also such an iconic movie and definitely like if you aren't familiar with horror and don't watch this regularly, it's pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Definitely will give you some nightmares, some weird visuals to pop up in your head when you don't want them to. You know that feel.
I'll give this an 8 or maybe an 8.5. It's a solid movie. I understand why it's a staple in horror. I just give more points because the production for sure. Just how many problems they had to go through.
Yeah.
As well as the special effects. I'm always about that. I agree with John, though. There were some scenes, like, I kind of wish I could have figured out how the priest was feeling more instead of him just getting drunk and having to deal with it.
Right.
With his mom passing away. But yeah, there was just some stuff that didn't connect. Like, I believe, like, with the actor dying and quote-unquote falling out the window.
Right.
With the cop, you know, I mean, like, I wish I could have gotten a little bit more explanation. But this just makes me believe that there should be a movie about the first Exorcist as he goes through the Iran.
Right. You could do a prequel.
Right. Do some some excavating for exorcisms.
I think the third Blade movie connected the original Dracula to Mesopotamia, so that was interesting.
That's sick.
But it was also a shit movie. But whatever.
So when it comes to comparing, we have standards nowadays
Yeah,
for
right.
movies, right? We have standards because
I feel like our standards for horror films has gone down though.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit. But I don't think that it's good to take this movie and compare it to
Right.
what we view as horror now, because this is sort of like where some of that horror comes from.
Yeah.
And with The Exorcist, I don't know, it's an iconic movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And I think that a lot of why it seems disjointed is I think that the author, since he worked so heavily on working on the script and everything, wanted to do a lot, but there's some stuff that he couldn't fit
Yeah, he's
into
going to have
this
to cut
movie.
out bits.
Yeah, like there's supposed to be a whole bit where there's like the police chief like does an investigation on the home worker that's there.
Oh,
like, there's
yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah.
the book apparently there's an entire like section where he like investigates him, and that's like his in between filler sort of stuff. So without that actually happening in the movie, it may have disjointed some more of the more of the story and whatnot. But I'm still giving it an 8 because I thought the writing was very solid. The acting's really good.
I think we all gave it 8.
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
8
yeah,
or
yeah, it's
7,
solid,
I think. Did you
solid
give it a
special
7,
effects,
Justine?
all that. Justine gave it a 7.5.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're close.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
all like on consensus here.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. You
It's a
wanna-
fine piece of cinema.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Disney.
If you have not seen it, it should be on your top 100. This is one of those.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those movies, like, for horror, I would say watch it at least once.
Yeah, you know, this is like with the classic slashers, so it's like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, The Exorcist.
Would you call this a slasher, though?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Oh, gotcha.
on a
It's
list
like,
of horror
oh,
films.
understood. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's like those iconic movies that you should go see. You should go see Poltergeist as well. Like,
Ooh.
this is like parallel to a lot of things that were happening, and that would be a good one to watch.
And please stop making merch of this stuff.
So-
I'm tired of
Jeez.
seeing all the fucking t-shirts of this shit.
There is a lot of merch, and at this point, you can get it pretty much anywhere. You can just like Google it and find some
It's
stuff.
like the cheapest shit. There's
Yeah.
so much of it.
Yeah,
now.
there's so much.
Well then,
Want to take us
Well.
out, Mer?
yeah, take us on out, Johnny.
Take
oh,
us
wait.
home.
Oh, that's me.
Oh wait.
Oh wait.
All
right. Let's do it. So we are bringing down the Grindhouse. You could check us out on all of our streaming websites. We got Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, the works. We also would love it if you guys donated to our Patreon for only $2 a month.
Donate to our Patreon.
You could get extra content from all the content creators, as well as our outlines and blooper reels that we have from each episode. We would like to thank our patron Sean from Texas.
Sean!
On!
No longer icy.
Yeah, for real. Not
Yeah.
frozen over there.
We appreciate the continued support, and if you would like to get a recommendation for a film or a piece of media that is horror related, you could donate $2 to our Patreon. And then other than that, you could find us on all of our social medias where we update you about new episodes and give you more horror related content. We have the Facebooks, the Twitters, and the Instagrams.
Oh, and the merch.
Oh yeah,
Mer.
I was gonna get to that.
Merch.
Whoa. All right. So there has to be a bringing down the Grindhouse suit. And if you need the suit, you need a couple things. First, you need Pit Viper sunglasses.
Oh my god.
Hit by your sunglasses.
You need some sweatpants because they're fucking comfy. But you need a shirt. And you could get that at our Teespring. But it's not complete without the motherfucking hat,
Hey!
which is also in trucker variant with the mesh. And
With the mesh.
also available in navy blue, apparently.
Yeah.
Navy blue.
That's the bringing down the Grindhouse suit, and if I don't see anyone fucking rock this, I'm gonna have to rock it first.
Wait, what do you wear for shoes though?
Whatever the fuck you want, Docs, Nikes.
I was thinking Crocs, man.
Oh yeah.
But with the little spur
yeah,
attachment.
that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
fucking thinking.
That's a fresh to
But
death
yeah, if you want to look
outfit.
fresh, you check out our Teespring. You get the torso hat, the hat and the fucking shirt.
Yee.
Crocs and sweatpants, those come separately. But I'll rock them first.
But also,
Take us on out.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Murr.
I'm Justine.
and I'm John. Thank you.